You are listening to the Afternoon Gospel Sing on the Carolinas Christian Voice, 100.9 The Cross. I'm the guy that keeps you company 3 until 6. I'm Mark Hunter, and I've got a guest joining me by way of telephone this afternoon. You've probably heard us play music from the Frost here on the Cross, and I've got one of their members with me on the telephone. It's Michael. How are you this afternoon, Michael?
I'm doing great, Mark. How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you for taking time to be with us this afternoon.
It is my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Well, as we begin, Michael, could you tell us a little bit about the music and the ministry of the Frosts?
I'd be delighted to. The Frosts includes myself and my wife. Her name is Jen, and our daughter. Her name is JL. Our daughter is almost 12 years old. And so we've been singing together as a little trio now for a few years. My daughter has really come a long way with learning the harmony parts and stepping out and singing some lead as well. And it's our mission to present original gospel music. I write most everything that we sing, along with our own personal testimonies, because we do believe that, bringing our own testimony is a large part of being a great witness for the Lord. And so that's really the heart of our ministry, and we love to share what God has done for us in our own lives, and we love to do it as a family. That's a very special thing for us. And so that's what the Frosts are really about. And we love to take our ministry to churches, and we live in Branson, Missouri, so we work in shows here, and so it kind of limits us to getting to go out and travel a lot, but we do that when we can. So that's very important to us. And it's also important to us to have our music on the air, and that's why we appreciate folks like you, Mark, and WSTS for playing the Frosts. It means the world to us.
Well, I'm talking with Michael from the Frosts, and Michael, could you tell us about your latest recording project, please?
I'd be delighted to. It's a CD titled Love Like That, and the three of us went down to Nashville a year or so ago, and we recorded this with producer Kent Wells. Now, Kent is the band leader and the producer for Dolly Parton, and has been for many years. And so that was exciting for us to work with him. He used a lot of Dolly's players on our CD, so that was also very exciting.
Wow.
So we're very thrilled with how it turned out and how it sounds. There's 10 songs on there. All of the songs are songs that I have written. And, of course, my wife and daughter is singing on most of it as well. And it took us a little while to decide when to put it out because, we went through the pandemic and all of those things. And so we did delay the release of the CD, but we did finally put that thing out in the spring of this year. And we're just so happy with how it turned out. And we just really feel like God opened the door for us to go down to Nashville and to do this one. And we have it available on our website. It is also on all the streaming platforms as well, on iTunes and Spotify and all of those things. So wherever you stream your music, you're probably able to pull up the Frosts. And again, the CD's titled Love Like That. And it's just something we're so excited about and feel very blessed to have been able to do.
Michael, could you tell us about your radio single, Never Seen Love Like That?
Yes, it's kind of the title cut from the CD. This is a song I co-wrote with a gentleman named Stephen Chaney. And Stephen's written a lot of great gospel songs for a lot of wonderful artists out there. But it's a song that he and I wrote years ago, in fact. But I've always had it in my head. It's always been a song that has stuck with me. And for this particular recording, I just felt like it was time to bring this song out because the message in it is so timely, especially when it gets to the bridge, because the bridge of this song is really the heart of the song. It says, God's love does not discriminate. It cancels every form of hate. It knows no color, no boundary, no race. I've never seen love like that. And that's the heart of the song. And we're just so thrilled to get this song out there to radio and excited for people to hear it. And it's simply a song about the love of God and how much He sacrificed and how much He loved each and every one of us and still does and always will, no matter what we've done in our past or what we're going to do in our future. Jesus' love has it covered, and that's what this song is all about. So we're so excited to get it out there. Never Seen Love Like That, the title cut from our brand new CD. And it's the new single that came out to radio in June.
Well, let's listen now, and then we'll continue our conversation. I'm talking with Michael from the Frosts, and this is the Frosts with Never Seen Love Like That. You're listening to the Carolinas Christian Voice, 100.9 The Cross.
I did not witness persecution of Christ, but I'm a witness to love and his mercy. I did not see the blood that drained his earthly life, but I have seen the change that love has made in me. No other cause but love did he suffer and die, and no greater love could anyone impart. I did not see it with my own eyes, but by faith I have seen it with my heart. I've never seen a love like that, a love that reached down to me. I've never seen a love like that, that held him to a rugged tree. He could have come down from the cross, but love held him back. I found sweet mercy and grace. The cross is where it's at. And I've never seen a love like that. So undeserving am I of such a love as this, the greatest ever shown in history. He died so willingly, he did not resist, and he bore every stripe so graciously. My Savior loved me more than I can comprehend, and it gives me so much joy and peace inside. It's a love that knows no boundaries, no color and no end. We are all equal in his eyes. I've never seen a love like that, a love that reached down to me. I've never seen a love like that, that held him to a rugged tree. He could have come down from the cross, but love held him back. I found sweet mercy and grace. The cross is where it's at. I've never seen a love. God's love does not discriminate. It cancels every form of hate. It knows no color, no boundary, no race. I've never seen a love like that, a love that reached down to me. I've never seen a love like that, that held him to a rugged tree. He could have come down from the cross, but love held him back. I found sweet mercy and grace. The cross is where it's at. I've never seen a love, never seen a love like that. Never seen a love like that.
It's the afternoon gospel sing 100.9 The Cross. That's music from The Frost this afternoon. And I'm talking with Michael from the group. And while we're talking about music, Michael, I was hoping you could tell us about your song, God's Gonna Give You a Testimony.
God's Going to Give You a Testimony is a song that takes me back almost 20 years. I wrote that song way back then, and I have been singing it ever since. It's one of those songs that I just feel like God gave to me, and the title of it says it all. You know, no matter what you're going through, no matter what trial you may be facing, if you'll just hold on and give it to the Lord, He's going to give you a testimony. You're going to come out the other end of that trial, and you're going to be able to say, look what the Lord has done for me. And that's basically what the song says. And it's an upbeat song, and it has a lot of energy to it. And we also recorded a new version of this song on our new CD, Never Seen Love Like That. And so we changed up the arrangement just a little bit and gave it a little different feel. And so it's kind of interesting to hear the original recording from a few years back versus this new version that we have on the new CD. It's the only song that we kind of are repeating.
Okay.
Every other song on the new CD is brand new, but this one, we just wanted to give a different feel to it because it just means so much to us. It's a song, like I said, we've been singing for so long now, and it'll never get old to us.
We'll continue our conversation with Michael from the Frosts in just a few moments. After this song, let's listen to God's Gonna Give You a Testimony. It's the Frosts on the Carolinas Christian Voice, 100.9 The Cross.
Lately the cares of this life have left me down and in despair. This unexpected trial has brought me to my knees, calling on the Lord in prayer. And as I enter the throne room, God gives me grace. He reminds me that I'm only as strong as my faith. Then in my patience, God begins to move, and once again I can testify of what He's brought me through. Oh, yeah. Hold on, child, you'll get through this trial. God's gonna give you a testimony. Don't let go, this burden's not your own. God's gonna give you a testimony. Take a look at your life and you'll realize when you've kept the faith and your heart's satisfied, you'll tell us how you made it by God's grace only. Yeah. God's gonna give you a testimony. God's gonna give you a testimony. Enemy's attacking, and he will not rest as long as you walk the narrow way. But through all your heartaches, your sorrow and stress, you're surely gonna see a brighter day. Oh, for in His presence there is healing in His wings. Sweet Holy Spirit, it'll make you shout and sing. It'll make you wanna stand up and testify and be a witness of the power that only comes from on high. Hold on, child, you'll get through this trial. God's gonna give you a testimony. Don't let go, this burden's not your own. God's gonna give you a testimony. Take a look at your life and you'll realize when you've kept the faith and your heart's satisfied, you'll tell us how you made it by God's grace only. God's gonna give you a testimony. God's gonna give you a testimony. Some sweet day you'll stand and say, my God has brought me a mighty long way. Hold on, child, you'll get through this trial. God's gonna give you a testimony. Don't let go, this burden's not your own. God's gonna give you a testimony. Take a look at your life and you'll realize when you've kept the faith and your heart's satisfied, you'll tell us how you made it by God's grace only. God's gonna give you a testimony. God's gonna give you a testimony. God's gonna give you a testimony. A testimony. He'll give a testimony.
listening to the Afternoon Gospel Sing on 100.9 The Cross. I'm Mark Hunter, and joining me by way of telephone this afternoon from the Frost, I have got Michael. And Michael, you mentioned that you write a lot of songs, and I was wondering if maybe you would share a little bit about your songwriting process with our listeners.
Oh, I'd love to. Songwriting is kind of something that began for me as a teenager. I actually lost my dad when I was 19 years old. My dad was a pastor. He was a pastor who had a heart for ministry and a heart for the Lord. And so when he passed, I felt like he kind of passed the torch along to me to carry on the gospel in a way. But I felt like my calling was in music and songwriting. And so I began to write songs around that age. One of the first songs I ever wrote was a song called That's God. Some of your listeners might remember that song.
Okay.
It came out in the early 2000s by a group called Airline.
Okay.
And it did really well for Airline. It was a Singing News top 10, I believe. And I went on to write songs for some wonderful artists like Ivan Parker and the McCaneys and the Dixie Melody Boys and several more. His songs recently had a song of mine that did well for them called Choose Life. So songwriting is a very important part of what I feel like our ministry is, and it's something that I don't get to sit down and do as often as I would like to, but when I do, I just try to pray through. I try to focus on what the Lord would have me to say. A lot of the songs on this new CD are songs that I have written over a span of years, so it's not like, I sat down and worked on 10 songs in a couple of months' time. These were songs like that I had collected and written over a span of years. And so, and I have a catalog of about a few hundred songs that I've written through the years. And so I try to keep adding to that. Some of them turn out okay. Most of them don't. But you've got to keep trying until you feel like God has helped you get the message that you really want to say. So songwriting will always be a big part of my life.
I'm talking with Michael from The Frost this afternoon. And Michael, if someone wanted to learn more about the music and the ministry of The Frost, maybe purchase your music, book a concert, what's the best way for that to happen?
We do have a website that has all of our contact information. It's frosttrio.com. And there you can find our email, phone numbers, and any way that you would like to contact us, you can find it there. We do travel selected dates, especially in the winter months. As I mentioned earlier, we live in Branson, Missouri, and we're part of shows out here, so that limits our traveling schedule. But in the winter months, it does open up quite a bit. So we would love to come and share our music ministry with your church or your event, especially in January, February, March time. And we also have social media, and we love to connect with people via social media. We have a Facebook page. It's simply called The Frost. And please find us there, give us a like, send us a message. We have a YouTube page. We put out a lot of music videos to go along with our music. And we have a brand new music video, in fact, that has come out with the song Never Seen Love Like That.
Okay.
And you can see that. Yeah, you can see that on YouTube and Facebook as well. So, yes, please connect with us. We love to hear from folks. Love to hear if the music is making an impact on you, especially. We love to talk with you.
I'm talking with Michael from The Frost. And Michael, you've mentioned that you're part of some shows in Branson, Missouri. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's kind of our quote-unquote day job. We moved from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee to Branson, Missouri in 2014. And the reason we moved here is my wife was offered a role at Sight and Sound Ministries. Now, I know a lot of people have heard of Sight and Sound. They do enormous productions, and it's all based on stories of the Bible. And so she was part of a show called Jonah, and later on she was part of a show called Moses.
Okay.
And she still works for Sight and Sound. She's part of the HR department now. And when we moved to Branson, I found work in some other shows in town. And right now I'm part of 5 different shows.
Oh, wow.
It keeps me busy. Yeah, it keeps me busy throughout the week. It's so much fun because I get to sing a whole variety of music. In one particular show, I sing 60s music. In another show, I sing classic country music.
Okay.
And I do a morning show called Smoke on the Mountain.
Okay.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have heard of Smoke on the Mountain. And that is actually a musical that is based on a gospel group set in 1938
Oh, wow.
who is visiting a church. And it's a musical comedy. And so they're called the Sanders Family Singers in the show. And they're visiting the church, Mount Pleasant Baptist Church in North Carolina.
Okay.
And they're late getting there because they've turned the bus over. And so,
Oh, boy.
and so a lot of comedic activity is presented in the show. But the show also features a lot of old hymns. And so we play a lot of bluegrass-style instruments through the show and, of course, sing those hymns. And it is such a great time. If anybody out there is ever coming to Branson, I hope you'll come and see Smoke on the Mountain, especially, and some of these other shows I'm a part of. You can find them all online and all on my Facebook page, all the things that I get to be a part of out here. It's really a lot of fun. And Smoke on the Mountain especially because it's a musical comedy, but it also has a message, and a very important message about faith. So I'm very proud and very blessed to be a part of so many wonderful things out here in Branson, Missouri, for sure.
Well, Michael, what's in the future for the Frosts?
I think what we'll be focusing on in the future is putting together more original songs. I'm always thinking about song ideas, always hoping I can find some extra time to sit down and write. I'm actually thinking of some song ideas right now that I'm going to be presenting to a couple of co-writer friends and see if we can get those going. And I hope to get another CD out within a year or two. And we just want to stay out there as much as we can, keep our songs out there on the air as much as we can. And it's just our goal to present music that can touch people's lives, that can even change people's lives through the message. That's our heart, and that's our song. That's what we want. That's what we want the Lord to help us do. And so it's folks like you, Mark, that help us do that. And we sure appreciate you and WSTS and all of your listeners. The Carolina's Christian Voice there in Fairmont. We appreciate you so very much, and we thank you for talking with us.
Well, thank you, Michael. And as we close, could you tell us about your song, God Has Got This?
God Has Got This is one of the songs from the new CD titled Love Like That, and it's a song that I did write for this particular project. A lot of the songs I already had written, but this song I wrote specifically for this project because of the time that we're living in. It's such a trying time on so many levels. You know, we went through the pandemic, and a lot of people are facing financial and health crisis, and it just really was weighing heavy on my heart. How can I say something that might encourage listeners? And it just came to me. God has got this. You know, we just got to trust in Him. When the light grows dim, God's still got it. When we're facing a hardship, God's still got this. We just got to trust in Him. It's hard to do sometimes, isn't it? But
Yeah.
But we humble ourselves and try to keep ourselves grounded and focused on Him. And we just got to believe that everything will be all right. God has got this.
Well, Michael, I don't want to keep you. I want to thank you for your time this afternoon, and we're going to listen to God Has Got This. But is there anything else you'd like to share as we wrap things up this afternoon?
I'm just really grateful once again for you, Mark, and grateful for your listeners. And we just hope and pray this music encourages you and touches you in some way. And again, we'd love to hear from your listeners. If this music touches you in some way, you know, reach out to us on Facebook. Let us know. That encourages us. And so we appreciate that so much. And thank you. Thank you very, very much for having us today.
Well, you're welcome, Michael. Now let's listen to God Has Got This. It's the Frost on the Carolina's Christian Voice, 100.9 The Cross. Thanks again, Michael, for being with us this afternoon.
It was my pleasure. Thank you, Mark.
What is happening to me? It's hard to believe. This burden's too much for me to bear. Where are you, God? Are you listening? Do you hear my humble prayer? My Father governs this universe, so I'll trust in Him like I should, and remember that through Him all things work together for my good. I just need to be reminded God's got this, and surrender it all to Him. He's always there, and He still is, even when the line grows dim. No matter what may come against me, when the storms of life persist, His wisdom and infinite love. God's got you and He won't let go. You just need to be reminded God's got this, and surrender it all to Him. He's always there and He still is, even when the light grows dim. No matter what may come against you, when the storms of life persist, there's nothing in your life He will miss. God has got this. Yes, God has got this. God's in control, there's nothing to fear, for He has a greater plan. He is our refuge and still our strength. Oh, He holds us in His righteous hand. We just need to be reminded God's got this, and surrender